Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Mainline Podcast. My name is Curtis. I am the outreach lead with 1-800-PRAY for Me. I'm here with my great guest.
Hi, my name is Kiersten. I am founder of Baba Girl Meets Ministry, which is an online ministry, and we serve everyone across the United States and locally in Atlanta.
Beautiful, beautiful. We're here today to just talk about expanding your reach. So, you want to jump into our foundational verse?
Yes, our foundational verse is 1 Peter 4, verse 10. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace.
Nice. How does that stand out to you? Have
Uh,
you ever read that verse before? Is that something familiar to you?
So I've read that verse before, but I kind of want to jump into, I was reading this book called A Purpose-Driven Life, and pretty much what kind of like knocked me across the head is that in one of the chapters, the guy has said, when you get to heaven, God's going to ask you two questions. What did you do with my son? And what did you do with the gifts I gave you? And I'm like, am I actually utilizing the gift that he actually gave me? So that's kind of brought me here where I am right now with outreach.
Nice. And kind of the same thing with me, too. Just doing a reflection of what gifts that I've been blessed with. Writing them down has been a blessing for me, just kind of getting things on paper and seeing how I can exactly utilize each gift that I've been given, or what gifts are the strengths that I can go out into the community and really make a difference. Is there any type of like strengths that you have that you've been able to recognize? I know some people might be your voice, it might be your strength, it might just be your personality.
I'm a dot connector. I feel like when I say dot connector, I know resources. I know everyone. I don't know why I know everyone. I can say I went to preschool with this person and this person can help me over here with outreach. I'm an extreme dot connector. So if anyone ever reaches out to me and they say, hey, I need X, Y, and Z, I'll be like, hold on, bet, give me 2 minutes. I got it for you in 5 seconds. So that's like one of my biggest strengths is like the communication wise and connecting dots for other people with resources pretty much.
Dot connect. I'm gonna use that.
It's good in the business world. I'm coming from a
Right.
business background.
No, I like that. And I know for me, being a relationship builder is one thing that I really love to put on as a part of my personality. I've been in so many different spaces. I've been around so many different types of people, so many different just degrees of people all over the world. And, being from Stone Mountain, I've been able to have my roots here, been able to go to school near Atlanta, have roots over there. So the Lord has literally placed me in so many different aspects to build relationships and connect the dots, like kind of how you said. And just being able to connect with people who I might have met in the past life, middle school, being able to do a lot of volunteering. That's really where it started for me specifically. Was in middle school, a lot of it was faculty-based. Might have been for organizations, classes, schools, but then I really fell in love with it, being back in my own neighborhoods, being able to help the people around me. So I've just been able to build such a big love for reaching out and outreach, using my skills of just relationship building, my voice, being able to use my strength in my hands. I love to work with my hands, so give me a task, I'm there. I'm boots on the ground.
Hey, because you said that, let me kind of hop into this question because it kind of sounds like how I was growing up. So you kind of like trigger something in me. What ignited a passion for outreach in your life? And I didn't realize this, which you just kind of just told me. So I'm very triggered. I'm gonna tell my therapist about this. So I realized, I thought it was people pleaser complex. Growing up, I wanted to be the teacher pet. I wanted to do things around the classroom. I wanted to help them, help everyone else. But that was my first outlook on what serving others looked like. Is what I noticed. I wanted to be able to help everyone around me. I was a person where it's like, as an adult, I thought it was me being a people pleaser, but it was me wanting to serve others. Even if I didn't know how to do it, I wanted to find ways to either make others happy or make their life easier in some way.
It's like extrinsic motivation. You get motivated off seeing what you can do for somebody else.
Yeah. I'm such a book reader. My favorite book is called The Go-Giver by Bob Burg, and he pretty much talked about giving more than you take in payment. So I would do more and I would not expect anything back later. So I think that's where the dot connector part came back in. So other people that I would connect other people with, I probably did something for back then, and they're like, oh, Kiersten, yeah, I got her. It's no problem.
Right.
Like, she's done this for me or whatever. So that kind of like expanded over time. Like, I feel like I have no problem serving people without expecting anything. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand. You should not be able to expect anything back. If someone asks you for something, you shouldn't expect it back next week either.
Right. If you're going to give, just give. Be a cheerful and joyful giver. Like,
Yeah.
you're not
100%.
really expecting nothing back. And I know for me, my big thing was, it was one drive I took as a child that I'll never forget. If you're familiar with the Atlanta area, you have the Grady Bridge over by the hospital. That was one of the first times as a child in elementary school that I saw children my age being, sleeping under the bridge with their families, going into those, food lines, going out to volunteer with clothing closets and seeing kids my age, younger than me, having to, do this and be in this environment. It just kind of lit something in me that I need to make a difference. I have all these things that doesn't matter to me. It doesn't give me motivation. It doesn't give me love. I'd rather see it on somebody else that really is in need. So being able to do that and see that as a child, that was my spark. That was my, you got to get up and go.
And I'm very much I'm the type of person where it's like, if I'm standing near someone and it's like I can kind of feel something about them, I'm quickly to take something off. Like, I will always have like a bracelet that probably says like, what would Jesus do or something. I'm quickly to take it off to give it to them. I'm quickly to hand something over. If someone was to compliment something on me, I'm like, hold on, let me just, give this to you. But it's just always it's always been about, I feel like everyone should be treated the same all across. Everyone should have the same options all across. They shouldn't have to experience life without everything being equal in some way. So whatever I had, and it came down to food, even growing up. If I had a burger I like, I would go buy another one because I want my little brother to try it. Well, my mom to try it. And I'm like, I got to stop doing it. I'm like, no, that's just me seeing, I want others to experience the same things that I experience. So even further and more with outreach, if I see someone, and they ask for food, you have options. I'm not just going to make you choose this. You have options. You're able to experience life the same way everyone else has, not just take this sack lunch. You have options. You want to go right here, you want to go right there. And there's no limit also as well, because God's going to provide at the end of the day.
That's right. I know that your organization, you and your team are kind of based in that with Bible Girls Meet, being able to really take what you guys have and being able to, I think earlier you said over 800,000 people.
It's like well over a couple cities. Yeah, it's over 800,000 with us online, mainly based in the United States, but we have people who are across the world. And it's such a heartfelt thing, because my main thing is, even though I'm the founder, I don't want you to treat me as a founder. This is your community. This is everyone's community. We are a community that gives together. So pretty much if you pour into community, the community pours back into each other. So it's like a big melting pot. And with a lot of work that we've done, not even just locally, but across the United States, things that we set up in states that I haven't even been through, that I haven't even been to, has been amazing, because, I can have someone reach out to me that I haven't even talked to, and they've probably been a part of the group for probably like 2 weeks, and say, hey, I want to do this, is there any way? I said, what do you need? What do you need help with? How many Bibles do you need? What resources do you need out there? Let me put out like a smoke signal out here in our community so someone wants to help you. And we have so many successful events. We've done so many drives, food gift bags, school things, but it's just about outreach starts with open your mouth first. And I feel like a lot of people feel with outreach is like you have to have a lot of money. You don't.
Right.
You don't have single dollar. I will go into outreach with my last dollar giving to people. And even if it's just not even that, outreach has always been the community pouring into the community. You can make some food right now in your kitchen and you can give it to the community. You can find some clothes in your closet right now and give it to the community. God's going to always provide, coming right back to you anyway.
Right. He's already giving you what you need.
Outreach doesn't have to cost a thing. And one thing that I've noticed with our outreach, I've never had to spend a dime unless it's me like pouring into food, like I'm buying like pizzas or something, or cooking food. No, it's the community that's pouring back in. Everyone is very quick, and people don't realize that. If you say that you want to set up shop over here, a lot of people will actually show up and help, and pour into, because they will want the same thing for them also as well.
Like you said, you had a good point with service doesn't come at a cost. You don't have to financially or fiscally be able to give something. Your time is something that you could give. Your energy, your strength, your words, your mind. There's so many different ways that you can show up to just be that helping hand for somebody else. When Jesus did not look at, the elite, he was with the sinners. He was with the people that society casted away. And I feel like being a servant leader, you have to have that mindset and that emotion to put yourself in the back and have everybody else in the front, the ones that need the help, the ones that the society and that people overlook, the ones that are really crying out for help, but they might not have the voice to come to you. So being able to have that community together, and with the team that you've built, like being able to affect people digitally, being able to affect people virtually in the real world, in person, like that's such a commendable thing that you guys, your organization does. So Big props to you guys, for real.
Thank you. It is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but you have to take time and pour into yourself. And I am guilty of it. My cup is empty. My cup is empty right now. My cup is always empty. And it's something that I've learned that I have to take a step back and see what it looks like to actually have my cup filled. I was always serving in church also as well. So you're able to serve in any part of your life, but I was always serving in church also as well. But was I attending service? Was I being poured into? Was I pouring into myself at the end of the night? Was I allowing people to pour into me? I noticed I wasn't. I definitely do want to expand on this a little bit more. How have you seen the Lord expand your reach? This could mean personally, professionally, and a form of relationship-wise.
Right. Expanding my reach within the church has really been getting deeper knowledge of whoever in the church is running their outreach team. Being able to be around Peace. I've grown up in this area, but I never knew Peace as like a church home until about 3-4 years ago. And being able to be in a space where they promote such just grace in service. Being able to serve outside of even the country. That's big for me. A lot of my family is from Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica. So being able to see an organization that has outreach in those areas, it's been beautiful to see.
I got a question. You say you're from Trinidad, right?
Well, I'm from here. My family's
But your
from...
people, your family live here?
Yes.
Can I get some doubles? I
Hey,
want
look.
some doubles. I want some doubles. I haven't had any in a minute.
Yeah.
Call your mama.
No, I do. I'm planning on making some soon. So.
Thank you so much. I want to spice it.
Yeah, you got to have them slight pepper.
I think
Oh,
I
you
saw a
got
place
me.
up the street, but I want someone mom to make them.
Yeah, it's got to be made from at home. Not going to lie. It's better when it's made in the kitchen
So-
at the house.
To expand on that, because you said that, you've been doing like a lot of work within the church also as well. How do you feel the difference between outreach within the church and outside the church? Because I feel like, when we look at churches today, it's just like we would go do outreach in the places that we kind of more secure, like in a soup kitchen or in this, closet where we're getting away clothes. Do you feel like we're not going where God's people actually need us, like on the streets near homeless shelters or near the jail? Do you feel like there's a difference right there of where you serve?
I feel like now there might be a disconnect between church and community working together. Sometimes you might see different organizations or different churches that they might stick with the same area that they're in or same organizations. It's comfortable. It's a long-term relationship, but there's other groups that might need the help and the assistance. There's other things that you could reach out and do other than just doing, your church's Saturdays organizational service. I know a lot of people who have faith-based organizations that go out into the community on holidays, on just random days. So I feel like there could be a greater connectivity between service in the community and the church. I feel like you can funnel a lot of resources between both, that you need a connector between the two. You need the person that's connecting the dots. And I feel like every organization needs that outreach leader. Every church needs an outreach leader that can connect people within the community, whether it's Peace with outside of Decatur. There's people who need help, on the west side of Atlanta that Peace might be able to help, but that might not be, the area that's connected to us. Being in the Decatur area, there's a lot of outreach we can do around here with Peace, with New Life, but I've been able to be blessed with opportunities to go serve out on the south side, around College Park, around Jonesboro. I've been able to go up to Alpharetta and do service up there. So there's just a lot of areas that we can really get our hands into and be in the mix of. But sometimes if it's maybe not all the way either a faith-based organization or an organization that's local to the area, sometimes there can be a disconnect.
I feel like at a certain moment, God called me to be uncomfortable. And when I say call me to be uncomfortable, like I was in my home, I was packing up Bible boxes. I was doing like certain stuff, which, serving is everywhere. But my first time actually serving outside, actually serving on the street, actually serving, in front of a homeless shelter that's right behind the county jail in downtown Atlanta. If you know that area, there's always people outside. My first time doing that, I felt so uncomfortable there, but God placed me there. He was like, no, these are my people too. These are my people too. And don't turn your back on them. Don't treat them any different. So when I first did that type of service, it was like during the winter, we had like soups, we had clothes, we had so much stuff, we had options for them that I'm communicating with people. I'm directly communicating with them. And they're looking at me in my eyes like, you're communicating with me. You're communicating with me like as if we're equal. I was like, we're all human. What do you mean? They were like, because some people, they would do their service real quick and they just like, okay, I check mark this off for the year. I'm going to heaven. And I'm just like, wait, what? So once I realized that, I expanded like the outreach that I did. Like I still do outreaches like everywhere else. But I made sure that I did not forget them. I made sure when I communicate with them, what do you need personally? What is something? So even when I do come back, I probably have someone name on this list. I was like, hey, is so-and-so still here? And they're like, yeah, she's down the street. I'll go find her. I'm like, hey, you said you needed pads? Like, you remember? Yeah, I remember what you said you needed. Do you also need something else as well? And for me, looking at it from that standpoint and just serving where you're uncomfortable, because God's not going to make you, like, we're going to always be uncomfortable within our life because God wants us to progress. It has done a lot in my understanding in terms of different types of serving and what it means to be the hands and feet of Jesus also as well, because these are, I'm still a baby, y'all. When Jesus healed the guy with leprosy and no one wanted to touch him, and then he told him what to go back in town, basically, that's how I was kind of like looking at it, like, no one wanted to touch these people, no one wanted to communicate with them, and I'm chopping up, like, this is my sister. I'm like, hey, how are you? You good? You need anything? And one time she was like, I just want my hair braided, and we brought a hair braider out her next time. Like, we got her. I'm like, you good? Wherever you need, just let us know. Like, communicating just equal. I'm not scared.
Those conversations are important, though. I love being able to have those type of service where you can speak in an inordinate amount, a long amount of time, of just spending with people, being able to communicate and see how their lives were. I know one big conversation that we had was there's an organization called Frontline Response. It's a women's shelter. We go out there to help with making food, with just organizing the closets and the donations. And it was a lot of the same experience. We actually got discipled by the people that were living there. We weren't the ones doing any type of preaching, any type of reading of the word. They were doing it to us. And that gave me such like an epiphany of, you don't have to wait for a day. You don't have to wait for an organization to post this, event. You don't have to wait for your church, this, Saturday event. You could do something every day of the week by just going outside and having a conversation. That conversation could be serving. That conversation could be, the Lord giving you the words to brighten up somebody else's day to keep going. We never know what everybody's going through, so.
The church is every day.
Yeah.
You never know who you walk past or walk to, or if this one person comes up to you, and I think we're all guilty of it. No matter what, like we're serving, we're doing all this, but when you see someone that's about to ask you for money, it's like you try to put your head down real quick. This actually happened to me last week. Like, this guy, like, I'm pushing my cart back. If you know anything about MLK and the Walmart over there, you try to keep your head down. So I'm pushing my cart back, and I see this guy. He's talking to someone else. I'm like, oh, yeah, they look kind of normal talking. And I'm like, oh, he's asking for money. I'm like, let me just go push my cart back and, like, put my head back down, go to my car. I look over at my window. He right at my window. I'm like, oh. And he was talking, and he was saying something, and I'm fixing my mouth to say, I ain't got it. And Jesus was like, you do got it. And I'm just like, that's the first time I ever heard this man be so loud in my head saying, you do got it. And I rolled my window down, and he just wanted food. And his lady came up next to him, and he was like, this is my girlfriend, and we just want food. And I was like, okay, there's Chick-fil-A right there. I'm like, as like Jesus basically telling me, you do got it. I'm like, Jesus, I ain't got it. He's like, you do got it. You got something right now. So I'm like, I got some Chick-fil-A points. We're going to Chick-fil-A. Jesus was like, that's your cop out. Just because you have points, that don't matter. That does not equip the money. So I was like, hey, you want some Chick-fil-A? Chick-fil-A right there, and get you that. So I told him to stand in front of Walmart. The guy was like, do we have options? You use what I'm usually telling people, like, you have options. He was like, do we have options? I was like, yeah, you have options. He points to the wing spot. I was like, you want some wings? He said, yeah. So I said, they ran over. I met them over there. They were already at the cash register. I go to this wing spot all the time. And the lady was like, you got it? I said, I got it. So they got their food. And immediately I told myself, just leave. Don't do it. Leave. And God was like, told you do got it. I'm like, I kind of had my little, you have your little moments. But I'm like, I didn't, at that time, supposed to be my nail money. What has the Lord been able to show you about his character through service and outreach in your personal walk with Christ?
What has he shown me? It's not about me. Like, my life is not about me. It's about what he has called me to do and what my purpose has been through him. And I feel like at times you might have that mindset in certain stages of your life or phases of your life, and life is lifing at times. So sometimes you can get pulled away from that, purpose. Sometimes you can put your own desires and wills, in front of you. And being able to serve has shown me a level of humility that I don't think I would ever realize or have a self-actualization of it if I wasn't either in my word or serving the people that he's called me to serve. He's just shown me so much about myself, taking a lot of selfishness outside of, my spirit, being able to pray before I even go into serving to adjust my heart posture. Because, sometimes there's the times where you might not feel like doing it. You might not feel like waking up in that morning. You might not feel like giving your Thanksgiving morning away to work a soup kitchen. But if you bring that same type of energy into your service, it's going to affect the people that you're called to serve. And if that's the energy, we were just talking about that with just, I know you mentioned a little earlier about praying over all the Bibles that you send out.
Yeah, if I don't feel good in spirit, I don't ship them out. I'm like, I ain't gonna let y'all carry that out.
It really does shift.
I would say this, and it kind of just like left my mind a little bit, but I'm always reading, and I'm always getting convicted when I'm reading. I'm like, this is why I don't be reading. I'm always getting convicted. But I had to check myself and make sure, are you serving for yourself and for your ego, or are you serving for his people? And because I'm like, what are you getting out of it if you're doing it for yourself and your ego? You're not getting no money out of it. You're not, you want people to pat you on the back? I'm like, no. And I made sure that the purpose and the foundation of everything I'm serving for is because him. And some of the things, I had to communicate with other people who want to start outreaches and all that. I'm like, why do you want to start outreach? Because I want to help people and all that. Why do you want to start outreach? Because if someone right now comes up to you and asks you, are you Christian? You say, yeah. Okay. Do you think you'll go to heaven? Like, yeah. Why do you think so? And you say, because I'm a good person.
Don't work like that.
You can't say because I'm a good person. You start listing off, well, I've done this. You don't list off those things that you've done. These are things that are expected.
Right.
What did you do with the gifts I gave you? So I very much early on learned, why am I serving and who am I serving? And am I also pouring the word back into them also as well? How have you grown as a disciple of Jesus Christ in ways you would not have if you didn't do work in outreach?
Probably a little bit of the same answer as the last question. If I would have missed out on a lot of character development, I would have missed out on a lot of Christ-like development. I feel like you can have character development and Christ-like development, and you have to bring those together into what new life or new person that you're going to have to be. You have to die off and kill off your old self, and not being able to serve would have put me in a place where I feel like I would have been more prideful. I would have been moving with more pride. I would have been moving with more ideals of it's about me versus about somebody else. And I will always say my biggest strength is my empathy for people. I'll get the shirt off my back. If it's raining and you got shoes on that you don't want to get wet, God give me strength, I'll pick you up, carry you over. Doesn't matter what happens. But I'm such a person that I get motivation, I get love, and I get my own personal satisfaction from seeing somebody else receive the joy. Like being able to see a smile on somebody's faces have been some of my biggest just blessings when I serve. I've been able to one of my biggest organizations that I just get the most satisfaction in going. I don't have the chance to go to it as much anymore, but back in Statesboro, I went to Georgia Southern for undergrad, and there they have something called Bullitt County Hope Chest. And over there, I was there as many times as I possibly could be, even without it being like a set up, organized event. Being over there, and we get a lot of flooding down there, so that would be a shelter for people to get waters, and I'd be over there carrying cases of water to families' cars and making sure that they're set up, carrying mattresses, fixing bikes and fixing toys for the kids, and everything being free for families in a place where poverty in a lot of the areas down there is rampant. It's something that as a college kid, you kind of privileged to see and it's a privilege to see what kind of life that you're living down there, but also you're in a place that has a need. And yes, it's not Stone Mountain. Yes, it's not Decatur. Yes, it's not Atlanta, but I've been placed here to serve a purpose. And if I wasn't a servant leader, if God didn't show me that, I probably wouldn't have shown up in the ways that I could have. And being able to have people call me in tears and saying how much of, a joy I've been, how much help that I've been. Like, there's families that are asking for me from down there, just because of the personality that God gave me when I go there. It's been a blessing to me. Like, it's made me want to keep going with this.
I would also like to say state, not Southern.
I went to both.
You a double dipper.
A little bit. Okay. One for master's, one for undergrad.
That don't count. You
Real GSU.
Which one?
Real GSU, Georgia Southern. Shout out.
One thing I like to tell people and ask them, like, have you died to your flesh today? And I'm dying to my flesh every single day. And it's not a pretty thing. It's not a pretty thing at all. But, to close out this episode, I definitely want to know, how can more people connect with you, especially with 1-800 and outreach? Because I know for me, Bible Girl Meets, we're online, we're on Facebook, we're on every platform. Even when it says Bible Girl Reach in your mail, you can still hit me up in DM if you need a Bible. We're definitely still here. We're nationwide, we're around the world, but we're definitely locally in Atlanta, and definitely would love to work with anyone who would want to work with us and with you.
Yeah. So for me, anybody can reach out to the 1-800 Pray For Me page. Send us a DM, send us an email. Let us know what you want to get into, whether it's serving in the church. We do service with the elementary school kids, middle and high school children. We do service with the mobile food pantries. We do with Reach Out on 1-800 specifically. Once you join Discord, we have volunteer opportunities getting sent out consistently. So if there's anything that you want to do within 1-800, if you want to do it personally, we have a lot of connections that we can give people out. We have pamphlets that we can give out. So, just reach out to the page, 1-800 Pray For Me, on Instagram, Facebook. Send us an email, send us a message, and we'll reach out to you.
Well, I enjoyed talking to you, and you said everything so beautifully today.
Thank you. Same to you. I appreciate it.
So
it's been a great guest.
You want to lead us out in prayer?
Yeah, I will. I will. All right. For everybody, close your eyes, bow your head. Dear Heavenly Father, first and foremost, we thank you for today. We thank you for the opportunity to wake up and just use the words that you've given us, the purpose that you've given us to just highlight just being a servant leader, being just a pillar in the community, Lord, in whatever ways that you can. Just showing us that service doesn't not have to come with monetary donations. It can come with time. It could come with your mind. It can come with your personality. It can come with your voice, Lord. You've already given us the strengths and the gifts, Lord. We just have to realize what we need to do to just live and just continue to use our purpose and our gifts to just serve others, Lord, to just be a pillar in somebody else's life. We know that it's not us. It's not about us, Lord. Our life is not our lives. It's your life that you have for us, Lord. So continue to give us the strength. Continue to give us the wisdom on saying how we can show up, how we can connect more people to show up, Lord, how we can just be a vessel for people to come to, Lord, and just ask what we need to do to continue to be the blessings that you provided us to be for others, Lord. So we thank you. We appreciate today's podcast. We appreciate the team. We appreciate the guests that you brought us here with. We just thank you for the words that you've given us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Cool.